Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel, Girl Gone Crypto. Today I have SnapMuse.io here on the show, and joining me I've got Gökberk who is the head of communications. So, Gökberk, thanks so much for joining me today.
Hi, Leah. I'm stoked to be here. Very excited. Thank you for having us.
I hope I didn't butcher your last name too bad, but hopefully we
That
made it
was perfect,
okay.
actually. As good as
Awesome.
I heard in a long while.
Good. So, just to kick things off, give us a high level overview of what SnapMuse.io is. I know that there's snapmuse.com, snapmuse.io. Kind of just walk us through the whole, story of kind of what it is that you guys are building, and then we'll just dive into it from there.
All right. Let me start by the end. So, what SnapMuse.io is? SnapMuse.io is the NFT marketplace for YouTubers and fans. What we enable is YouTubers to have access to the funding and engagement they need to grow their channel by relying only on their channels and no one else, basically. In a very Web3 spirit, that's what we're trying to um, do, empowering creators. What happens, how it works is YouTubers create their NFT collections, offer it to their fans, and these collections are embedded with a share of their ad revenue. They turn to their fans, offer the collection to the fans, and say, listen, you've been supporting me throughout my career. It is now time that you do more than just watch my content. It's about time that you have a bigger ownership on this channel. Now let's grow this channel together. Fans, by collecting these, they give the YouTuber the funds they need to invest in their channel. So the YouTubers go buy a camera, go on a crazy, vlogging trip around the world. That's up to them. The fans, on the other hand, are now incentivized to give more engagement because they also own like a part of the channel almost. And what we really want the fans to have is, or to be at least, is to go beyond just consuming content. We want them to be a part of it. So, by collecting these NFTs, they get access to their favorite creators. They get to stand among millions of fans, and they get to meet their creators in a very exclusive Discord channel. They get to claim rewards based on the channel's performance, fueled by this ad revenue that the creator, embeds in the collection. So we want to do like a system where there's real, real world value where everyone wins, and it's almost like a social fi where the creators, where the fans get more involved in their favorite channels. So this
Yeah.
is what Snap Music is.
Okay, yeah, because what's really interesting about this is I feel like there's a lot of people trying to tackle this kind of general problem, and the way that you guys are going about it is really interesting. I'm excited to dive a little bit more into it because, obviously, one thing I like about this is that it's not like a paywall kind of thing, like, oh, support me, donate to me. Like, I've never been a big fan of that model because it doesn't feel very good. But then on this side of things, it's like you are, like you're saying, it's almost like the fans are getting a piece of the pie. But what's interesting too about this is, I've seen some people try to be like, oh, we're going to launch NFT collections. And then the hope is just like, oh, hopefully this NFT becomes more valuable as this person becomes more popular. But what you guys are talking about is tying in actual ad revenue. Can you just dive more into the details on how exactly that works? Because I think that's really interesting.
So how that works is actually pretty simple. The ad revenue embedded in the collection fuels the rewards that the fans can claim based on, if the channel, if they manage to work with their favorite creators to grow the channel. Because here the fans also have a voice. They finally exist in this whole ecosystem. They don't just consume. Commenting, liking, watching the videos in their entirety, watching another video from the same creator, referencing the channel to their friends will help the channel grow. And eventually this will also reflect on them through the rewards. But again, at the heart of it, this is like a community building token as well. So I don't want
Mm-hmm.
that part to go
Yep.
unnoticed, right? This is really giving a face to the fans, an ability to really interact with their favorite creators. And yes, a lot of people try to tackle that same issue, whether through NFTs or otherwise. But there are a few critical points that really differentiate us. Um, First is that our NFT collections are defined in time. This is something new in crypto. The
Mm-hmm.
main issue with anyone trying to tackle this problem through crypto, or even like with the collectible craze as well, was that you got into this game, into Web3, into NFTs, because everyone was making a lot of money. You created your collection and you don't know what to do with it now. And you can't even really turn it off because you will be called a rug puller by all these people who gave you a lot
Right.
of money.
Mm-hmm.
What we embedded in the system is an honorable exit.
Mm.
Fans know that they will get, say, 3 months to a year, depending on the particular collection, is the length of this NFT collection. This is the amount of time the collection will be offering benefits and perks. And after that, it just becomes a collectible. But
Mm.
there's an honorable exit for both parties. People know what they're agreeing on. And at the heart of it, the first and the very first value proposition is access to the person you really want to interact with. You want to get to know more.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, there will be other benefits. For instance, if we're now onboarding, and I'm very happy to announce that this is the first time we're hinting, at least giving the first hints. Our first creators. These are in Mexico, three creators, two of 9 million and one of 6 million,
Wow.
and they are also going to release a song, for instance. And some of them, as perks, they want to offer concert tickets. See,
Mm.
these are the types of real benefits, real world value that we want to embed in these collections. So that's what we really want to do.
So one question I have is, obviously one of the big applications of blockchain technology is transparency, not having to trust a third party. So in this situation, where is the accountability for the creator to really follow through? So I got questions in kind of two different arenas. So one on like the kind of exclusive Discord thing, like is there some sort of accountability that this creator will actually show up and engage, as that is something that's being promised to the fans? And then
Mhm.
on the kind of I'm still curious a little bit more about the ad revenue piece and how that works. Like if does that actually get embedded directly in with their like Google AdSense account so it automatically is shared, or is it counting on the creator to actually share that, or like how does that work?
All right. So blockchain transparency. Let's start to talk about this. We are and we've been working with creators for a long time. You asked about how we got here, so I'll also touch upon this a bit.
Perfect.
We've been working with creators for a long time. We have another business called snapmuse.com, which is a royalty-free music business for creators, right?
Mm-hmm.
And um working on that, we've actually got to learn the creator ecosystem, the shortcomings of the current model, and the difficulties that the creators face. We are currently with SnapMuse.io using Web3 technology to solve these issues. This is what we're doing. And as much as we love Web3, of course, since we come from a Web2 background,
Mm-hmm.
we are sort of Web 2.5. That's what we say at least every
I
now
like
and
it.
then. Um, and so let me get into what that really means. On the on the creator side, let's first talk about that, the ad revenue part. We have a license that enables us to collect the creator's ad revenue in full on behalf of the creator.
Oh, okay. Wow.
YouTube, send the creator the amount they allocate to themselves and make the rest available to fuel the rewards on for the fans. So that we're able to make possible, because of course blockchain makes everything transparent, but we still do need a few nodes that really ties things together with real life, right,
Mm-hmm.
with the physical world. That could be oracles, or that could be an institution like us. So that part, we make sure that things work perfectly, and that YouTubers don't drop their collections and then just take the money and leave.
Right.
We're able to make sure that that works.
Perfect.
On the fan side of things, or at least on the Discord, for instance, how do you make sure that they show up on Discord?
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, we're the platform, right? For instance, OpenSea don't push people to, have like show up on Discord, and it's pretty much similar. But that being said, um, since our contracts are limited in time, creators are actually incentivized. At least, it's easier for them because they know where it ends, they know the extent.
Mm-hmm.
More than that, I've been attending, creator conferences all around the world, in LA, in Mexico, wherever they are, basically. Recently, I listened to Zach King, for instance, talk about how much value he managed to drive from his community, and by simply hiring from them, for instance,
Mm.
because he says these people know you so well, and at first you're afraid that they're gonna be fanboys, fangirls, and really stargazing you, right, googly eyes. But he says this lasts for a week or two, and that's all. But
Mm-hmm.
they know you better
Yeah.
than yourself. So they get a lot of value back from the community as well. It's not just, chatting with them. It's more than this.
No, and that's, I think, like aligning incentives, right? Like you said, you can't force someone to go into Discord, but when you set it up in a way where they're really incentivized to and they want to, I think that that's just the smartest way to go about that. And I think it's really interesting that you've been, traveling around to all of these creator conferences, meeting all these different people. I think it would be kind of interesting to get your perspective on just kind of this creator economy that's kind of a buzzword, right? Like, where do you really see the trends kind of going? What do they say? Like, all these, like, young girls want to be, Instagram stars when they grow up. And, like, do you see the creator economy and the amount of content creators continue to grow? Or, like, what is your kind of take, coming from your background with snapmuse.com, snapmuse.io, your exposure to the industry on kind of some of the trends you're seeing right now?
Mhm. So first, in numbers of users. Currently, I mean, the recent trends point to an, upward destination. So user numbers are growing. That's no surprise. What's interesting, I think, is to see the competition heating up, really,
Hmm.
especially between YouTube and TikTok,
Yes.
both trying to grab a share of each other's market. YouTube introducing shorts to grab a share from, or at least to,
Mm-hmm.
not give too many users to TikTok. TikTok trying to introduce ad revenue sharing mechanisms to partnership, or at least a partnership program to be able to compete with YouTube. That dynamic is very interesting to me because here's why I find it very interesting. Um, what initially what TikTok really managed to leverage is its ability to grow the audience of creators, right? It's not super
Mm-hmm.
easy to grow on YouTube, but it was so easy to grow on TikTok that people really
Yeah.
switched to at least started using that as well. Now that has been copied by, or at least adopted by, YouTube as well. Now you have YouTube Shorts.
Mm-hmm.
Now the big question, since everyone is using YouTube Shorts, or at least short form content, is how you monetize, because creators still need to make money, and it's very important because this is really hard work. We know.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Currently, what I'm watching is the monetization dynamic, or at least who's going to solve the monetization problem of Shorts. YouTube has made an attempt.
Mm-hmm.
um, I think they are going to fine tune it in some way, because it turns out it's not making a lot creators a lot of money right now.
Right.
But this is the dynamic I'm watching. The monetization of short form content. That's an important question for the
Mm-hmm.
creator economy.
Yeah, and I'm glad you touched on that because it has been really interesting to watch that all unfold. Because YouTube is really the only platform where the ad revenue amounts to anything meaningful for most creators. Instagram's got something, TikTok's got something. It's not great. You're not going to pay your bills with it unless you're like a huge creator. Where YouTube has, been able to offer, a little bit more competitive kind of thing. But that short form content, you're right, that is going to be tricky. And that's where it's interesting. Where what you guys are trying to do with, like, hey, let's look at this monetization mechanism and see if we can improve it. And I mean, that's really what you guys are working on in a lot of ways.
Okay.
So
We
oh, go ahead. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. No, I just wanted to say that at this, current system where shorts are getting more and more traction, and it's harder to lead people to watch longer form content. It's harder to get, ad revenue from the partnership program,
Mm-hmm.
whatever platform you're on. It's also a bit more harder to get sponsorship deals. So
Mm-hmm.
what we are leveraging is using Web3 technology to give the creators a a reliable way to monetize their relationship with their fans, without needing to, and I think that's important to highlight. We are not, unlike the other platforms, the pay to view platforms, we're not burdening the creators to create more content. They don't
Right.
have to do more because it's already so hard to keep up with three platforms every week. We don't
Yep.
want that. We just want you to know to be able to create. That's why we say you, your content, and your community.
So, one thing that we haven't really touched on too much yet, but I'm curious to hear more about is the SMX token and how that works in the ecosystem. So, I know that you said that you've got like a license to be able to kind of manage the ad revenue in certain ways. There's the NFT marketplace. Where does the token fit in, and what role does it play in the whole ecosystem?
So the token isn't launched yet, but it will be. First I want to. I think this is important. Let me tell you this. We want to launch the platform first. We want to give people the proof of concept that this works, and this is because we're tiny bit more old school. We come from a Web2 background. We believe in products that work instead of trying to, sell promises. We're not sure this is the best way to go forward.
Crazy
So
idea.
we want to establish proof of concept. We want to show people that this works. And the token comes later. And the token, of course, will be the way we envision it is for it to be the way to bet on the ever growing creative economy in Web3. Basically, that's how we envision it, and this will um, fuel the entire Snap Muse.io ecosystem, basically, and the whole social media ecosystem in Web3.
So, just to get a little bit more granular with that, so when someone goes to, like, let's say, purchase one of these NFT collections, will it be in the SMS token, or will it just be like USDT, USDC kind of, Ethereum, kind of things, or how will that work exactly?
Once the SMX token is launched, the NFTs on our platform will be sold in SMX token.
Okay.
People, we want. So we know that our audience may not be, all exposed to Web3, right?
Right.
They might be what we in the industry call normies, right? So we want to make it easier for everyone to onboard Web3. And I think this is a good point to highlight what we're bringing to this ecosystem is we're able to talk to pretty much 2.5 billion people that, use YouTube eventually and give them a way, an easy way in to Web3. So we are able to onboard a lot of people. Now, SMX token in this regard is important. People on the drop pages will see prices in a currency that they're familiar with. But
Right.
eventually, once they click buy, they will need to buy in SMX. What we want them is to have enough SMX in their wallets, but the prices will be seen in stablecoin, for instance. Right. This is what we want to do. And the rewards, of course, that that creators, the fans collect will also be in SMX.
Got it. Okay. Awesome. So I know that you had mentioned, okay, we just kind of like looking at the roadmap here, like we want to launch the platform, get it working. Like, where are you guys kind of at in terms of roadmap right now? And what is the team kind of currently working on? What's coming next? Like, give us a little, gleam or glimpse into what's kind of coming next for Snap Muse.io and what people can expect to see.
Happy to do so. The team is currently working and really day and night on preparing our launch. We are in the process, like I told you, of onboarding three creators with whom we are going to launch in our first market in Mexico and in Spanish-speaking Latin America. And we're currently, preparing our launch. This is, very exciting times because we've been working on this and startup business is very exciting. It goes up. It's all the excitement, and then you're not sure how in a lot of sense you're not sure in on certain questions how to proceed. Then you find a breakthrough. It's very thrilling, and we are really in a point where everything is now settled. Now we can see clearly now,
The
and
rain's gone.
so exactly we're laser. I mean the rain is not gone. The entire the whole Web3 ecosystem is still going through a rough patch. But our advantage is since we're really basing or grounding ourselves on real value, we're really able to go forward despite the unfavorable conditions in the whole ecosystem. And now we're laser focused on our launch, which is, very soon.
Awesome. Well, Gerg, it's been so great just to have you on the show and get to, chat more about and learn more about what you guys are doing over at Snapmuse.io. So if someone's watching this and they want to check you guys out, learn more, join the community, just kind of, take that next look into you guys, where's the next best place for them to go?
The next best place to go is on our Telegram and on our Twitter.
Perfect.
And yeah, it's SnapMuse.io on Twitter, and maybe we can add the links below and make it easier for everyone.
Yep, absolutely. I was going to say, I'll put the links below so that anyone watching this, you can just click right through easily. So perfect. Well, Gerg, thank you again so much for your time and for coming on the show today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you very much. This was a pleasure.